Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Wednesday. Glad you're here. Today's Red Mic message, flagged. But before we get started, haven't said this in a while. Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. As I said a minute ago, today's Red Mic message, flagged. Last year, former NFL quarterback Teddy Bridgewater made national news, not because of a touchdown, not because of a championship, but because, as the head football coach at Miami Northwestern High School, he quietly spent nearly $70,000 of his own money to help his players. Meals, transportation, field, paint, training camp, physical therapy, whatever they needed, he paid for it himself. And then he was suspended. Not because anybody questioned his character, not because anybody claimed he was trying to buy a championship. No, he was suspended because he violated Florida's rules governing benefits that high school athletes may receive. Now, whether you agree with the rule or not, it was still the rule. Now, here's the part I respect. The school and the athletic association didn't simply look the other way because Teddy Bridgewater was a former NFL star. They enforced the rule. Then, Florida's elected leaders asked the question that every good leader should be willing to ask. Is this still the right rule? After hearing the arguments, they decided it wasn't. And this year, Governor Ron DeSantis signed what has become known as the Teddy Bridgewater Act. It allows high school coaches to spend a limited amount of their own money on meals, transportation, and recovery services for players, provided the spending is disclosed and isn't used for recruiting. That's how government is supposed to work. We don't ignore rules or laws we don't like, we follow them. And when experience teaches us a rule is no longer serving its purpose, we change it the right way. There is one other thought worth mentioning. Across America, countless teachers quietly spend their own money on classroom supplies, books, snacks, other things that their students need. They rarely make national headlines because there isn't a Friday night scoreboard or a television camera following them. But Teddy Bridgewater's story reminds us of something bigger than football. Leadership isn't measured by how tightly you cling to a rule. It's measured by whether you remember why the rule existed in the first place. Rules matter. They create fairness. They establish expectations. They protect against abuse. But rules were never intended to become the mission. They're supposed to serve the mission. And whether you're leading a football team, a business, a government agency, a church, or your own family, don't become so attached to the process that you lose sight of the purpose. The strongest institutions aren't the ones that never change. They're the ones confident enough to admit when a rule has outlived its usefulness and disciplined enough to change it through the proper processes. That's today's Red Mic message. Hope you found it interesting or helpful. Hope you're able to put some of these ideas into place in your own life. I'd appreciate a like, a follow, and a share. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I enjoy interacting with you guys. So drop me a line. If you don't want to leave a note in the comments, give me an email. redmicmessages@gmail.com. All is one word, scrunch it all together. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for being here. And until next time, don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon. I'll see you.